Okay, usually your boy doesn't pay attention to little rumors like this. And now look, I've said it before, I am never one to question someone's sources, but when this guy, Ben Stevens, he put it out there. This is going to seem like a joke, but I promise it's not. Sources tell me Antonio Brown is in talks with the Houston Texans as a possible landing spot. No deal on the table yet, but Houston's doing their due diligence. Police credit. He said it first. So if it happens, give him credit. But I do not know the guy. I've never heard of the guy. But like I said, I never, ever, ever question anyone's sources. Now, like if someone's like spewing out constant lies and I see that, then obviously I'm not going to take that person serious. But this guy, new guy, have never, ever heard of him. So I'm giving him, the benefit of the doubt, I guess you could say. Like, I'm not going to be like, no, you're wrong, have no idea who you are. But, still though, I had never heard of the guy. So I was like, you know what, it's whatever. It's not something worth making a video about. And then Chad Ochocinco, who happens to be very good friends with Antonio Brown, he tweeted out this: AB to the Texans with little praying hands. That got me thinking, like, okay. And that kind of like set Twitter up in flames. Texans were like, oh my god, Antonio Brown's coming to Houston. Antonio Brown's coming to Houston. And that right there made me, I guess, believe it a little bit more. He's good friends with Antonio Brown. The other guy already, put the rumor out there, or, the thingy, whatever. He put it out there already. So there was already talks about it. Even before Mr. Ben Stevens put it out there was this Instagram page, SBE Football. They put out the AB sweepstakes thingy. Like, oh, we have sources that the Texans are the most interested in AB. And not many people believed it because, it's an Instagram page. Instagram pages, like, most of the time, it's just people with no sources. Like, it's just an average person just trying to get followers. So, like, not many people pay attention to it. But, I knew it was there. A lot of my followers, showed it to me. It's like, hey, do you think this is real? Like, personally, I'm not a fan of Instagram. I am a Twitter boy, Snapchat boy, and a MySpace boy. So, Instagram disregarded it, whatever. So, there was already talks out there, but, like, Mr. Ben Stevens, like, he kind of, like, got Texans Twitter kind of, like, excited about it. And then, of course, his Chad Ochocinco thing kind of made it even more, I guess, exciting, a little bit more realistic. But then, this happened. Deshaun Watson quotes that tweet with this Drake picture. Deshaun Watson wouldn't do that just to do that, Like, there's definitely something there. Something I always say in my live streams. Where there is smoke, there is fire. There is fire. There is definitely fire. If Deshaun Watson is paying attention to it, or, acknowledging it, there is definitely something there. And keep in mind, a few weeks ago, Antonio Brown on Instagram, he put this out. This picture. He captioned it, Big 4 soon, #call God. Who do you see down there in the comment section? Deshaun Watson. 2 hearts, glory. So, Deshaun and AB, obviously they've interacted before, but wait, there's more. Then you have Antonio Brown acknowledging Deshaun Watson's quoted tweet from Chad Ochocinco with little eyeball emoji and fire emoji. Like I said, where there is smoke, there is fire. Except this isn't just a little bit of smoke. This is a whole lot of smoke. Remember when, I think it was like last summer, the Deer Park, if you're from Houston, little Deer Park plant blew up and like there was smoke all over Houston, like you could see it from pretty much everywhere. Yeah, it's that. That's what this is, guys, because there's definitely something there. Now, I'm not saying it's guaranteed to happen, but the Texans are definitely talking to Antonio Brown. And it isn't just, oh, hi, Antonio Brown, how you doing? It's like, it's not like that. It's more like, hey, Antonio, you want to go to Olive Garden and then maybe catch a movie after, and then after that we could go up to my room. You know, it's that. It isn't just like little small talk. No, the Texans are definitely interested, because if they weren't, Deshaun Watson wouldn't have acknowledged it. Chad Ochocinco, one of Antonio Brown's good friends, wouldn't have acknowledged it. And Antonio Brown himself wouldn't have acknowledged it. So this is definitely something that is very real. This is something that can actually happen. Now, how do I feel if this happens? Well, you know, to me, it's all about price. Price matters. Now, we give this guy, you know, like $7 million a year, $8 million a year, I'd be happy. And I know some people are going to say, there is no way he takes that. Yes, there is. AB's trying to get back into the league. Why not go play for an outstanding young quarterback, a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, who's better than Lamar Jackson, by the way? Just throwing that out there because, you know, I'm petty. Anyways, so why not go play with Deshaun Watson on a cheap 1-year deal to show to the league, I still got it. I'm still one of the best receivers in the NFL. So I could definitely see us getting Antonio Brown for cheap. Now, here's the question. What happens with the other receivers? Randall Cobb and Brandon Cooks, they have their spot. And I've seen some people saying, trade Kenny Stills, trade Will Fuller. People say, trade QT. And to me, hurts to say it, and I absolutely love him, but to me, the guy you trade is Will Fuller. I love him. He's a great player when he's on the field, but when is he ever on the field, guys? And look, let me just say this. The Texans are going to lose Will Fuller regardless. His contract is up after this year. Yes, you know, they could re-sign him, but I just don't see it. Because look, one of two things are going to happen with Will Fuller. Either one, he's going to get hurt again, how he's been doing his whole career. And, you know, he's going to be good when he's on the field, but he's going to get hurt. And the Texans are going to be like, you know what? It's been 5 years of the same old story. We're moving on. They let him walk. Or the second thing that's going to happen is he stays healthy. Will Fuller stays healthy, and he has a really, really good year. But guess what? If that happens, the Texans can't afford Will Fuller, because if Will Fuller stays healthy, and believe me, if Will Fuller stays healthy, he's going to put up over 1,000 yards, maybe even over 1,200 yards. He is that good. If Will Fuller stays healthy, the Texans won't be able to afford him, and he's going to walk. So, in my opinion, the Texans are going to lose Will regardless. So, I'd say it's Fuller. Fuller is the one that walks, or the one that you trade. Not Kenny Stills, because Kenny Stills, he's always healthy. He's been healthy his whole career. The only games he's really missed were here in Houston with a little hamstring injury early in the year. So you can trust Kenny Stills to stay healthy. I mean, Kenny Stills, obviously, he ain't no Will Fuller, but he's not a bad player either. So you'd have Brandon Cooks, Antonio Brown, Kenny Stills, Randall Cobb, and Kiki QT. That's still a very solid wide receiver core. Now, some people are going to say, well, where do you trade Will? Don't know, but I think you should get some picks back. And I've seen some people saying, well, you trade Will Fuller to the Jets for Jamal Adams. Like, yeah, you could do that, but you'd have to package in some more picks, in my opinion, because straight up, you can't do Will Fuller for Jamal Adams. So obviously, you have to throw in an extra pick or two in there. And I'm not sure I'm a fan of that. I mean, you could do it, but I mean, like I said, trades are complicated. I usually don't like talking trades. Antonio Brown's a free agent, so it's easier to talk about that. But let me just say this as well. If the Texans sign Antonio Brown, there is a very good chance that he will be suspended. I've heard 4 games, I've heard 6 games, I've heard 8 games. Point is, he's probably going to be suspended early on. So, the thing is, you don't trade Will Fuller right now. You sign Antonio Brown, you play Will Fuller, Brandon Cooks, Kenny Stills, Randall Cobb, Kiki QT, as Antonio Brown serves his suspension, you have these other talented wide receivers. And then once Antonio Brown comes back, which is going to be around the trade deadline time, then you trade Will Fuller. Now, another thing could be is the Texans just keep them all. Antonio Brown, Will Fuller, Brandon Cooks, Kenny Stills, Randall Cobb. Who's stopping that, guys? Nobody's stopping that. And let me just talk about that for a bit. If the Texans get Antonio Brown, they will have the best offense in the NFL. And no one will be able to stop them. Picture this formation. Picture this. 4 wide receiver set. Brandon Cooks and Kenny Stills, or Will Fuller, if they keep Will Fuller, outside. Antonio Brown on the left side inside. Randall Cobb on the right side inside. So, technically both slot positions. Who is stopping that? Nobody is stopping that. I mean, tell me, what team has 2 corners fast enough that can keep up with Will Fuller and Brandon Cooks going deep? No one. No one. Not only that, what team also happens to have an elite slot corner that can stop Antonio Brown? No one. You have to worry about all 3 of those guys, and then there's still Randall Cobb. But wait, there's more. What about covering David Johnson or Duke Johnson out of the backfield? I'm just saying, if the Texans get Antonio Brown, this offense will be the best offense in the NFL. And this offense would be on par with the greatest show on turf and the greatest show on turf 2.0. This offense will be on par with the Chiefs offense and Rams offense from 2018. This offense would be unstoppable. Antonio Brown would make the Texans Super Bowl contenders. And you guys know how I feel about O'Brien. I think he's a decent coach. I think he can get us to the playoffs pretty easily. I just don't think he can get us to the Super Bowl. But I think if they add a guy like Antonio Brown, the Texans should automatically be Super Bowl favorites. I think they should. I think he makes that big of a difference because you're just not going to stop a team with this many good wide receivers. I mean, Antonio Brown's route running, Randall Cobb's quickness on the inside, Will Fuller and Brandon Cooks' speed on the outside. Oh my, you're not stopping that, man. Like I said, if the Texans get Antonio Brown, it's game over for the NFL. The only thing that would be able to stop the Texans' offense would be this annoying COVID-19 canceling the season, because you're not stopping the Texans. Like I said, give me a team with 3 corners good enough to stop Antonio Brown, Will Fuller, Brandon Cooks. Stop our running backs out of the backfield. And then we have tight ends too. I mean, Darren Fells had like 10 touchdowns last year. Well, not really. He had like 6 or 7. But still, like to over-exaggerate. Kahali Waring could end up being something. Jordan Akins, he has a receding hairline. I guess that's pretty cool. But yeah, like you're not stopping this Texans offense. Yeah, so I mean, I'm not gonna get my hopes too high though, because this is the Texans. But Jesus Christ, like I said, where there's smoke, there's fire. So the Texans are definitely 100% looking into getting Antonio Brown. And I'm going to just say this. Bill O'Brien is straight up playing Madden. The moves that O'Brien has made, these are moves that you make on Madden. Oh, man. Let's trade away DeAndre Hopkins. bring in Brandon Cooks, sign this free agent wide receiver, draft this nice young defensive lineman with the pick we got for Hopkins. Oh man, Antonio Brown's a free agent. I forgot about that. Let me just go pick him up. Boom. Now, yeah, we traded DeAndre, but we got Brandon Cooks and Antonio Brown to replace him. Not only that, Randall Cobb and David Johnson too, and we got a nice defensive lineman. That's the stuff dudes do on Madden. Bill O'Brien's playing Madden, man. It's funny, but like I said, if it happens, I'll be happy, and the Texans would be unstoppable. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys for today. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.